Most popular fast food chain the year you were born. Today, we'll discuss the most popular fast food chain and the year you were born. It'll be so exciting to know about the starting point of the delicious and renowned food chains that we've eaten in our daily lives. So let's start at the beginning. Taco Bell from 1970 to 1979. The current craze for Mexican food didn't start overnight. In fact, it most likely had its start in the 1970s when Taco Bell was all the rage. So if you were born in the 1970s and also have a profound fondness for tacos, this may be the explanation you've been seeking. Glen Bell, the company's creator, first started selling a variety of foods with Mexican influences in 1954. It didn't take long after it began franchising in 1964 before things started to turn around, and it quickly rose to become one of the most well-known fast food chains in existence. As it increased to nearly 700 outlets in 1975, the franchise appeared to truly take off. What started as a little taco stand quickly swept across the nation like a wild, fiery fire, and it became the place to eat in the 1970s. The 70s saw Taco Bell introduce one of its most well-known menu items, the legendary Enchirito, amid the chain's ongoing expansion of franchises. Everyone soon developed a complete obsession with Taco Bell. The Enchirito appears to be a minor player in comparison to today's insanely wonderful menu options, but back then, it was the greatest alternative. Wendys, 1980. The chain's popularity had grown continuously since it debuted in 1969. Even though Wendy's may not be as well known or well liked as that other burger restaurant with the clown mascot, it has nonetheless been successful in retaining an extensive base of devoted patrons, and for good reason. Who else was offering square hamburger patties after all? Therefore, if you were born in the late 1970s or early 1980s, you just so happened to be born during the height of Wendy's fame. One of the most significant innovations in fast food technology of all time, the first drive-thru window was introduced by Wendy's in November 1970. This essentially transformed the fast food industry into what it is today. When 1980 hit, Wendy's also hit a huge milestone. Because more people started going to Wendy's, the chain needed to open more locations to meet all the demand. In 1980, Wendy's opened its 2,000th location when only 2 years prior, they had already set an industry record by opening 1,000 restaurants in 100 months. Let's just say 1980 was a big year for the establishment. Burger King, 1981 to 1984. Since the company's founding in 1953, Burger King has experienced a few things. It wasn't always fast food royalty, though. The ongoing conflict between the two businesses began when it was formed as a reaction to McDonald's explosive popularity, but Burger King's special grill, the Insta-Broiler, distinguished it from McDonald's. The chain was able to significantly expand its customer base and create its menu thanks to this grill. For decades, the chain's bestseller has been the quarter-pound Whopper, which comes with lettuce, tomatoes, mayonnaise, ketchup, and pickles on a sesame seed-topped bun. The two competitors were friendly rivals after their initial introduction in 1957, or so we believed. It wasn't until the early 80s that Burger King launched its infamous Battle of the Burgers ad campaign. If you were born during these years, you were also born during the official start of animosity between the King and the Golden Arches, and it was Burger King who struck first. The gloves were off now. A string of hostile commercials drew attention to the poor quality of McDonald's cooking techniques and how superior Burger King was. From about 1981 to 1984, these commercials made Burger King the most popular fast food chain. Dominos, 1985 to 86. Today, pizza is essentially available everywhere. You may pick up a slice of pizza from one of the thousands of different restaurants any night of the week for a meal, but one pizza restaurant stands out from the rest, or at least it did in the past. Domino's might simply be your standard pizza joint today, but in the middle of the 1980s, it seemed like it could conquer the world, and it did. Domino's has been steadily expanding daily ever since it originally started in the 1960s, and although, while the chain is still quite popular and remarkable now, it is unquestionably less recognizable than it was in the middle of the 1980s. After establishing its 2,841 locations by 1985, Domino's was dubbed the fastest-growing pizza restaurant in the entire country. In addition, that year saw the opening of the chain's first locations in Japan's Minato and the United Kingdom. Following that, Domino's started expanding like a plant until ultimately you could find one almost any place. There are now more than 17,000 outlets spread over 83 different nations. Once the iconic One Call Does It All ad appeared, it was impossible for it not to catch on. If you happen to be born in 1985 or even 86, your family's pizza night was most likely happening thanks to a newly built Domino's. Dairy Queen, late 1980s. No one does delicious, recognizable frozen snacks quite like Dairy Queen. Since 1940, or since the beginning of time, as you might say, Dairy Queen has been providing delicious soft serve and sundaes in 20 different nations. Even though the chain has been established for a while when the 1980s began, it wasn't until the decade's conclusion that it received the popular acclaim. And why, you might wonder, would a chain that at the time seemed to be outdated suddenly saw such a boom in popularity? Well, it's rather easy. We owe it all to the much-loved Blizzard. This soft serve creation was added to the DQ menu in 1985, and it quickly became a favorite. During the first year alone, it sold 175 million units in 1 year. The genius idea came to a DQ franchise owner after seeing a competitor's ice cream shop selling frozen custard, and the rest is history. This winning creation was quickly followed by the acquisition of Orange Julius in 1987, which could only help Dairy Queen move forward from that point on. And only 2 years after its expansion in 1989, Dairy Queen reached top category status in the country. So it turns out you weren't the only baby born in 1985, another legend was too. Chipotle, 1998 to 2001. One of the most well-known new fast food establishments, Chipotle debuted in 1993 under the leadership of Steve Ells. The chain began as a very modest, very small business that had to work hard to survive in a market crowded with other companies. It's simple to say that Chipotle had modest beginnings. The investment from a significant player in a fast food sector, McDonald's, gave the chain the boost it required to succeed in the market in 1998. Yes, McDonald's was a significant major investor and had a significant role in Chipotle's success. McD's invested more than $360 million in the franchise, which led to the fast food chain's subsequent growth. This small initial first step allowed Chipotle to expand from 16 restaurants in 1998 to over 500 stores by 2005, and today there are over 2,000 locations. Chipotle reached its pinnacle of popularity from 98 to 2001 as more people got to discover the chain and wanted to test it out. Growing popularity also means a growing menu. While today McDonald's no longer owns Chipotle, it's safe to say they're still doing pretty well on their own. So if you were born at the end or the beginning of the century, Chipotle was probably the restaurant on everyone's mind at the time. Subway, 2002. What comes to mind first when someone asks you to name a sandwich shop that sells some of the best sandwiches around? Could it be Subway? One of the most popular sandwich franchises ever established? In any case, that is the one we're referring to. Fred DeLuca, the 17-year-old student who wanted to find a means to pay for college, launched Subway in 1965. DeLuca started the company with a $1,000 loan despite having no prior experience in the field. Naturally, with more outlets than McDonald's, it is the largest international chain of fast food restaurants. But the title of largest fast food chain didn't come until 2002, when Subway's efforts to position itself as a healthy option paid off considerably. The company took off after appointing the famed Jared Fogle as a spokesperson in 2000. He stated that eating sandwiches from Subway had enabled him to shed 200 pounds. This was a turning point for the chain that would affect Subway's success forever, because almost everyone wanted to eat better and healthier food. The franchise did experience challenges, though, and the arrest and conviction of its spokesperson damaged its reputation. Starbucks, 1990 to 1995. When Starbucks was first established in 1971, it had as its major objective to provide its clients with the most basic cup of coffee. Then, as the years went by, Starbucks started to offer some drinks that were a little better and prettier than your normal ordinary cup of coffee. And when the renowned Frappuccino was introduced in 1995, the coffee industry was forever changed. The combination of coffee, milk, and ice, which was offered in both caffeinated and caffeine-free flavors, actually produced a successful wave for Starbucks and significantly assisted the chain's further expansion. Of course, more than just the addition of the beverage contributed to the success of this coffee shop. In 1990, a few years earlier, Starbucks introduced a brand new customer loyalty program. With this change, the business was able to rapidly expand and increase its customers. The reward program helped Starbucks grow by over 3,500 outlets between 1990 and 2000. The largest coffee hangout of the decade was without a doubt this chain of coffee shops. Thank you for watching this. For more content, please like and share our channel for more information.